Here are the most recent deaths in the national news as reported at Legacy.com the second week of March 2024. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any newspaper in America and beyond. Artist Akira Toriyama died March 1, 2024, of acute subdural hematoma at the age of 68. He was the creator of the classic manga Dragon Ball, which was adapted into the wildly popular anime series Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Toriyama is being remembered as a legend of manga and anime whose work influenced generations. Singer Debra Byrd died March 5, 2024, in Los Angeles at the age of 72. She was the head vocal coach on American Idol for years, mentoring the young singers as well as singing backup for their performances. Byrd is also being remembered for her many years as a backing vocalist for Barry Manilow and for her work with Bob Dylan. A note to remember, sometimes personal information, such as someone's cause of death, is not announced immediately by their family or the authorities. When a cause of death has not been officially confirmed, we do not report on rumors. Every family has a right to their privacy. Musician Eric Carmen died in March 2024 at the age of 74. He was the lead singer for the Raspberries, known for power pop hits like Go All the Way and I Wanna Be With You. Carmen is also being remembered for his solo career when he sang such hits as All By Myself, Hungry Eyes, and Make Me Lose Control. Civil rights activist Naomi Barber King died March 7, 2024, in Atlanta at the age of 92. She was the sister-in-law of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., and she was the last of the King family from his generation to survive. King is also being remembered for forming the A.D. King Foundation, which is devoted to helping youth achieve nonviolent change in their communities. Chef Max Hardy died March 4, 2024, at the age of 40. He was a Detroit restaurateur known for River Bistro, Jed's Detroit, and other restaurants. Hardy is being remembered for his work in the community, including feeding those in need via Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen for Good. Actress Jean Allison died February 28, 2024, in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, at the age of 94. She was a prolific character actress who appeared in many TV shows like Charlie's Angels, Perry Mason, and Highway to Heaven. Allison is also being remembered for roles in such movies as Edge of Fury and The Devil's Partner. Singer and songwriter Malcolm Holcombe died March 9, 2024, of cancer-related respiratory failure at the age of 68. He was known for his back-to-basics Americana music. Holcombe is being remembered for his powerful music and live performances. Musician Karl Wallinger died March 10, 2024, at the age of 66. He was the driving force behind World Party, who had college radio hits in the 1980s and 90s like Ship of Fools, Way Down Now, and Put the Message in the Box. Wallinger is also being remembered as a member of the UK folk rock band The Waterboys in the mid-80s. Musician T.M. Stevens died March 10, 2024, at the age of 72. He was a bassist who dreamed of playing with his musical heroes James Brown and Bootsy Collins, and that dream came true when he played on Brown's single Living in America and toured with Collins. Stevens is also being remembered for working with such musicians as Tina Turner, The Pretenders, Little Steven, and Billy Joel. Rapper Lichelle Laws died March 11, 2024, at the age of 54. Better known by her stage name, Boss, she had chart-topping singles in the 90s like Deeper, a rare example of a woman working in hardcore rap. Laws is being remembered as the first woman signed to the legendary Def Jam Records. Author and actor Malachy McCourt died March 11, 2024 in New York City. He died after a long illness at the age of 92. He wrote the memoir A Monk Swimming, a follow-up to the famous memoir Angela's Ashes by his brother Frank McCourt. McCourt is also being remembered for his performances in movies and TV shows like Ryan's Hope, All My Children, and Brewster's Millions. Dancer, choreographer, and songwriter Anthony Baby Gap Walker died March 4, 2024, of complications from neck surgery at the age of 60. He was a member of the Gap Band, known for their 1982 hit song You Dropped a Bomb on Me. Walker is being remembered for his energetic dancing with the band, as well as for his background vocals and songwriting. Author and activist David Mixner died March 11, 2024 in New York City. He died of complications from COVID-19 at the age of 77. He was a prominent gay rights activist who co-founded the LGBTQ+ Victory Fund. Mixner is also being remembered for his anti-war and nuclear disarmament activism, as well as for writing such plays as 1969 and Who Fell into the Outhouse. Former Congressman Terry Everett died March 12, 2024 at his home in Rehoboth, Alabama. He died in his sleep at the age of 87. He represented Southeast Alabama as a Republican in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1993 to 2009. He is being remembered for his work on behalf of farmers, small business, and military personnel back home. Everett was a U.S. Air Force veteran who served as an intelligence analyst with the Air Force Security Service in the 1950s. Actor Michael Culver died February 27, 2024 after a long illness at the age of 85. In the Star Wars universe, he played Captain Needa, whose death at the hands of Darth Vader was a pivotal moment in The Empire Strikes Back. Culver is also being remembered for roles in such movies and TV shows as A Passage to India and Secret Army. Musician Pete Rodriguez died March 11, 2024 at the age of 89. He was the pianist and bandleader behind the catchy, danceable 1967 hit I Like It Like That. He is being remembered as the King of Boogaloo for his work in the 1960s genre of Latin music. Rodriguez was a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who served in the 1960s. Holocaust survivor Ben Stern died February 28, 2024 in Berkeley, California at the age of 102. A teenager when the Nazis invaded his home of Poland, he survived 9 concentration camps before being liberated by Allied troops. Stern is being remembered for his high-profile work in later years to oppose neo-Nazis and stage counter-protests to their marches. Businessman Gerald M. Levin died March 13, 2024, after being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at the age of 84. At one point in his career, he was considered a media visionary, the CEO of Time Warner, who was a pioneer of cable TV and helped launch HBO. Levin is being remembered for orchestrating the disastrous merger between Time Warner and AOL in 2000. Attorney Paul Alexander died March 11, 2024 in Dallas at the age of 78. He was one of the last few people still using an iron lung. He spent most of his time in it for more than 70 years after contracting polio when he was 6 years old. Alexander is being remembered for his resilience. Even while confined to an iron lung, he graduated from college and law school, practiced as an attorney for years, and became a TikTok star near the end of his life. Actress Robyn Bernard died March 12, 2024, in California at the age of 64. She was best known for her role on General Hospital in the 1980s and 90s, playing Terry Brock. Bernard is also being remembered for small roles on such TV shows as The Facts of Life and Simon & Simon. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 6 years ago this week, scientist Stephen Hawking died at the age of 76. In addition to his groundbreaking work in astrophysics, he helped make science understandable to a general audience with his best-selling book, A Brief History of Time. 10 years ago this week, comedian and actor David Brenner died at the age of 78. He was a pioneer of observational comedy, frequently appearing on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. 14 years ago this week, actor Corey Haim died at the age of 38. He was a teen star in the 80s, known for movies like Lucas, The Lost Boys, and Dream a Little Dream. 15 years ago this week, actor Ron Silver died at the age of 62. He was Emmy-nominated for his performance as Bruno Gianelli in The West Wing. 18 years ago this week, actress Maureen Stapleton died at the age of 80. She won an Academy Award for Reds and was also known for roles in Airport, Cocoon, and many other films. 27 years ago this week, rapper Christopher Wallace, better known as the Notorious B.I.G., died at the age of 24. He was known for hit singles like Juicy and Big Papa. 36 years ago this week, singer Andy Gibb died at the age of 30. The younger brother of the Bee Gees, he had his own smash hits like Shadow Dancing and I Just Want to Be Your Everything. Actor Anton Yelchin was born 35 years ago this week. He died in June 2016 at the age of 27. He played Chekhov in the Star Trek reboot, as well as starred in movies like Terminator Salvation and Charlie Bartlett. Actor Raul Julia was born 84 years ago this week. He died in October 1994 at the age of 54. He played Gomez Addams in 2 Addams Family movies, and he starred in such films as Kiss of the Spider-Woman and Tempest. Civil rights activist Ralph Abernathy was born 98 years ago this week. He died in April 1990 at the age of 64. He was a giant of the civil rights movement who fought for equality alongside Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Alabama have been lowered to honor the memory of former Congressman Terry Everett. Flags in Missouri have been lowered to honor the memory of Independence Police Officer Cody R. Allen, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Delaware have been lowered to honor the memory of former Senate Majority Leader Robert J. Voschel. Flags in Florida have been lowered to honor the memory of former Representative Betty Holtzendorf. Flags in Washington have been lowered to honor the memory of State Trooper Christopher Gadd, who died in the line of duty. Flags in New York have been lowered to honor the memory of fallen members of the New York National Guard, Casey Frankowski and John Gracia. Flags in Ohio have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Senator Ted Gray. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.